Welcome back.
We're live.
Yes.
And we're ready to go.
I'm with the Wonder Woman team.
Yeah, can you guess what we are?
So that's today team. We just kind of stated yesterday already. We get a little bit of a hint of what we're going to work today. And my client today is an amazing comic book dealer. And she's a lady as well. She runs the shop by herself in
awesome.
Manchester. So just to complement our International Woman Month and our Super Ladies lineup.
Yeah, it's
I thought
Super
that was
Lady
like-
Day.
Yes, Wonder Ladies.
Wonder Ladies. So whoever feels like they have the Wonder Woman spirit in them, let us know. You can be a man too. The Wonder Woman spirit is in everybody.
I think the best actually character, that comes out of a man is when you're able to be the best Wonder Woman, still being a man. If you can have the power to embrace your feminine side, you're actually the best guy. You actually understand women, which is the trick.
Yes. So today is our last day. Let's just recap what's been going on. We've been working on brand identity. We've been doing how to create a mood board for your client, how to create a logo, and today we're going to do deliverables, how to send your client all the stuff you've been working on in very concise, very clear way, communicate with them what you're going to do for them. And we've had some great challenges this week. Photoshop Daily Challenge. We just had Kathleen live with the Photoshop Daily Challenge. So there's one for you to do today. And
we
we've
really
had,
look forward to it. It's
yes.
always so amazing.
Well,
to
today we're
review
doing
them.
portfolio reviews.
Oh, wow,
so that's exciting.
amazing.
But
I really
this
enjoy
whole
that.
week we've had a lot of awesome things going on, all ladies. So we had Kathleen hosting the challenge, us, Julia Masalska, and Whitney Anderson as our guests. So they're coming back today, which is awesome. Hi, everyone. Hi, Munir. He says, hello, Wonder Ari and Wonder Kladi.
Hello.
Yes. Hi, Ashi. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Nathaniel. Hi, Tim. Hi, Roman.
So where you guys are writing from?
Yes,
I
where are
wanna-
you coming from?
Please, I want to know. If there is
Lucas.
anyone from the UK, from Italy, you get my special love. Cause that's
Oh,
my
yeah.
mom.
She loves everybody, but if you're from Italy or
Extra
the
love.
UK,
Extra love.
you're going to get, like, special Wonder Woman power.
I got
It's going to come
Sebastian
towards
there.
you.
Hello, it's nice to see so many friends.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
So today we really want to see your portfolios. So 2 of you will be selected. We're only going to look at 2
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
But it's great because we can look in depth.
Yes, amazing. So we get some more time to have a little bit of a look of your project, give you a little bit more of critique and feedback for you to improve or maybe just keep going and doing the amazing things that you're doing. So
Yeah.
it'll be very exciting for us as well. And also I did keep my promise. Yesterday I did announce that you'll be able to have the file that we were creating in InDesign. So actually the file to present your deliverables, what we're going to create today. I think it was one of your questions or in the chat. How do you deliver your files to the client? How do you share your process? So those templates are available for you.
free.
Yes. We're going to go through. I'm just going to start again a little bit with my presentation. Yeah, we got someone from Manchester.
Yeah, Emily.
Hi, Emily. So we're going to go and start back from an intro. Should we just kind of jump on our laptop now?
Yeah, let's jump into the laptop.
Yes.
Okay, that's the last time I'm going to do that because I can't wear these the whole time. They're really
Are
metal.
we a little bit excited about Wonder Woman today? What do you guys
I got
think?
too excited. Yeah. Barbara's from Russia. We have Alamgir from Bangladesh. Where else? Copenhagen. Anne from Copenhagen, Denmark. Nathaniel says, for free?
Yes, for free.
Lucas is from Brazil. Ignacio from España.
Amazing.
Hi, Ignacio.
Hola, everyone. We need to keep
Hola.
our multicultural languages here. I'm learning so much. So I'm learning Greek. I'm learning a little bit of Arabic. And then we're doing
Oh.
Italian. Here we
Yeah.
go. So let's jump straight on that. This is my Behance page, which is behance.net/Printmysoul, which is the name of my business. And the first project that you see here is actually our Adobe Live template. So everything that we use today, during these days, yesterday as well, and the day before, starting from mood boards, you have a little bit of a definition of what we've done. So again, the starting point from transforming the core values of a brand into visual. And here we go, that's what we built. So if, by any chance are just starting to use InDesign and maybe you struggle to follow our replay, you have already a file here. So you just need to click on the download template, and the template will be downloaded on your computer. Is a InDesign template file, so that means that you're gonna need to save it straight away and rename it, because with templates each instance remain the same, but it's a new file all the time. So you'll be able to use it for all your projects. It's just gonna be there. You're gonna double click and open it.
So and it's such a time saver to have that ready.
Yes.
But and there is spend a lot of time on it. So
there's more time. Yeah,
we're grateful for your
I've done the work. I was there yesterday until 2 a.m. doing the work for you guys. No, but I like to keep my promises, like every Wonder Woman does. So, so yeah, that's what we talked about yesterday. We're just gonna go. I'm just gonna show you this project, guys, and then we're gonna go and have a little bit more of a look in depth in the intro. So again, this is how you present your logo. Of course, there are different versions. I just put a few screenshots, but there is more there. And again, you can download day 2 here. And this is today. So I'm just gonna go very, very quickly because we're gonna go in depth about that in a little bit. And we're probably gonna come back about, we're gonna talk about this at the end of our time here. So just to remind you guys that you can download those amazing templates that are made for you. So deliverables and mockups, that's what we're gonna talk about today.
Great.
Let's jump on our intro.
We had someone that said konnichiwa.
Oh, konnichiwa.
Yeah, in Japanese.
Hello. We're learning.
Tell us how to say hello in all the languages, but can you spell it out so that we know how to pronounce it, and then we'll try to say it?
Please, because otherwise we made, Italian accent here. She's got a beautiful English accent. I, as you guys noticed in the chat before, I pronounce word in a very, I make up
very
my own
unique.
Words. Very unique. So,
yeah.
Yes, I got my own vocabulary. I got a Kladi vocabulary. So just to jump back for those of you who didn't follow us from the very first day, today I just want to recap a little bit about my journey and what brought me to do what I do today. I think the reason why it's important is because, I don't come from a design background, so that's something important to remember. If design is what you like and you're starting now and you don't have the degree, you didn't study design, don't worry about it. The main key ingredient, I keep repeating, is passion. So as you can see, I was passionate about colors since I was very, very young. I live in the UK. My studio is based in Manchester, but I'm from the south of Italy, and I spent my first year playing with colors. I was also a competitive athlete for the Italian team. And then my career started in public relation and international communication. But,
is that public relations?
No, that was the next slide. Oops. So yeah, something that I forgot to say is that I started my approach with colors and with art through graffiti. This might be an illegal wall. I think someone was joking on the first day saying that the FBI is looking for me. They're not.
Maybe the Italian
I don't do this
FBI.
thing anymore. Now I just do legal walls. I promise. I run a business. So yeah, and especially my career went from playing and using walls as my canvas, because that's all it is. I don't tag. I don't do that. My name is Juicy, and that's what I paint when I use colors on walls. But I use them more as a big canvas. For me, it's a way to experiment, and I still use it nowadays.
Your tag.
Yeah, that's my name. That's my street name.
Street name.
My street name. But I don't tag. I'm personally I just like to, and I don't define myself as a graffiti artist. I think I don't have enough background. I just enjoy walls as canvases. Mm-hmm. So it's a way for me to experiment with colors and with shapes.
She says, do you think your background helps you in being creative?
I think passion for art, of course I've been traveling a lot, and while traveling I've been visiting a lot of museums. I think that helps. Yeah, of course, the background, if that's what you like, is if it's your passion to, into arts, into visuals, if that's what your reference are from, of course, you can, my background here, you can see, like, I started working in New York. I've done my first work experience in the UN, so it was something completely different. But, for example, that's one of the reasons why I'm here speaking with you guys. When I was at the UN, actually, I prepared for 9 months to give a 3-minute speech, and I failed miserably. I was in front of GA plenary, and that went very, very wrong. But I realized the next day I was still walking, I would still be able to drink some water, I was still eating, I was still alive. So of course, your background, no matter what experience you go through in your life, they're gonna help you move forward. So, don't be scared, don't be afraid, just, follow your passion. I think that's the key word for me.
What would Wonder
passion.
Woman do?
Exactly.
WWWWD.
Yeah.
Just think of that.
Yes. So yeah, of course the background helps, but what I really wanted to say is that any background helps. So don't be afraid of rejection. Don't be afraid of people that say no. Don't be afraid if you have a different background. As long as you keep your passion as your objective, and that's kind of going to be the light that is going to help you move forward. And also patience. Be patient, because things happen slowly. The best thing, like nature, if you guys followed us in the previous day, you know that I'm a very big fan of plants and nature. You need time to blossom. Every beautiful thing take time to blossom. So that was my time to blossom. I was actually I founded my studio in Manchester, where now I work with these beautiful, beautiful ladies, Maria Deli Giorgi and Maggie Baldi. And we create graphics for medium and small size business. And that was the entire purpose of my segment here, to share with you guys my process in create brand and logo identities. And now the Adobe Creative Cloud actually super empower us, our workflow, to deliver professional files, which is what we're gonna look into today. So that's my studio. If you want to give us a follow, if you want to message us, you can find our Behance, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. The handle is Printmysoul. Pretty nice and easy in all the platform. I'll look forward to your messages. And even if you want some review, me, Maria, and Maggie try to spend 1 day a month just to do student review or portfolio review. Even if you're not a student, feel free to submit or drop us an email. Be able to help you out.
So is the best way for them to email you if they want you to look at
Well,
their
to be
work?
honest with you, a direct message on Instagram is how you grab my attention.
Okay.
Because with emails
Be
is more...
careful what you wish for. You're going to get a lot of messages.
Yeah, we're three. There's three of us.
Yeah.
So three Wonder Women, so we can actually share our power, and we do it once a month. So again, maybe you don't get a reply straight away, but at least you know that in the entire month you will get a reply.
That's a great.
That's why we
a
do
great
it.
opportunity.
We
So make
focus-
sure you send a message on Instagram and ask for Kladi and her studio mates to look at your work. Not studio mates.
Well, yeah, we're super amazing
You're
ladies.
more than that, because studio mates sometimes just sit together, but you guys work together.
Yes, we work together. So
Okay.
something that I didn't mention is actually that I'm going to be flying to Berlin because my plant therapy book has won a prize.
Oh.
I'm a big shy now,
So
bigging
Kladi
myself
has a
up.
book called Plant Therapy
Let's see if we find it here.
that
Here
won a
it is.
prize. That's really exciting.
Yeah, so I won a top award, which is an international award, and it's going to be awarded on the 8th of May in Berlin. So if any of you is from Germany or Berlin and wants to take me out for a coffee, just
There's definitely people from Berlin, because when I asked about good morning, a lot of people said Guten Tag.
Oh yeah, please. No, I really look for tips, places to go, museum. The book is gonna actually be exhibited in the museum for a month after I received the award. And the book, again, this is another take about passion, as we talked before. I'm not an illustrator. I never studied illustration before, but when you go and follow your passion, make sure that you do it big. Just kind of break every walls, think out of the box. I published a book. Of course, using InDesign and do editorials is what I do every day. So of course that helped. But that was my first take on illustration. I used the iPad Pro with a Draw application, and that fed straight away into Adobe Illustrator. And that was my first take in illustration. And actually, it's bringing me clients. People are actually contacting me because the book is now made it into shop, an independent shop, and I won an award. And I'm going to be traveling
awesome.
in Berlin. So follow your passion.
Yeah.
So we're in Germany, Berlin. I'm going to be in Berlin.
Yeah, so anyone who will be in Berlin the first week of May and wants to have a coffee, they can DM you on Instagram.
Or even if you're not there, but amazing place to visit in Berlin, I'll be so thankful.
Any recommendations?
We just do this little trade. I'll give you my templates and you give me advice. Advices on cool place to visit in Berlin.
Yeah.
So that's my business. And again, talking about logo, I work a lot with geometric shapes and colors. That's what we're going to look in today, the importance of a color palette. Again, that's the starting point that we did, and that's why I thought that it was very useful for you guys to have the templates, the InDesign templates, mood boards, starting point to transform what the client vision is, their brand value into visuals. And the reason why I really wish for you guys to spend time and do your mood board right is because you'll see we're gonna come back and get the values. So it's, having a strong platform, having a strong starting point will support you all the way through. And I remind that to myself all the time that I start a new branding. It's very important to get your basics right. So that's what we done on the first day. Yesterday, we actually went into logo design and how to use Adobe Illustrator and InDesign to actually translate and create these shapes and these colors and this font lock, and then how to display them in InDesign. And that's the second template that you're gonna have, how to display your version to show your clients. And that's just a little image just to remind us that the logo is not the brand, but we need to infuse the logo with the values of the brand. Again, jumping back on our mood boards. Today we're gonna focus on deliverables and mockups. We're just gonna start with Illustrator straight away. And then we're gonna do a very cool stationery and actually digital mockup as well. If there is time, we're probably gonna try and do stickers as well, because once your logo is ready, you can actually design a sticker for your clients. I like to give a little bit of extra because I think, after you give the file, after the logo is approved, to give a tangible kind of example of your logo is something very, very interesting, and clients get really excited because they don't only see it, it just kind of comes out of the computer and they can touch it and they can put it on their laptop, they can put it in their home, in their workplace. So that's when the logos start to become real. So I really hope that we get time to work through the sticker templates as well.
Awesome. So a lot of people are interested in the templates, and Tim keeps posting the link.
He's there.
So Tim, just post it like every 5 minutes.
Yes. I'm really happy that you guys enjoy having templates. I think it's a really good starting point and will help us to go back on our replays that you'll find on behance.net/live/replays. You'll be able to follow our work and have a file ready. So you can just post the video and then maybe copy and paste from one document what I already create for you. Something that I really want to talk about in the creation of deliverables, you have a little bit of an overlook on what we're going to do today. So we're going to start from a logo that has already been approved by the client. And again, I'm sharing with you my real work. So today we're going to talk about a comic book dealer called Lucky Target Comic. So we're going to have a look at our logo, and we're going to create a social media package. Lockup variation. You need to remember that the more option you give to your clients, I think that was your question yesterday, how many options do you give, or do you deal with that? Well, the more option you give and the more you think ahead, the less disappointed you're gonna be. Because when you create a logo, it's like a new baby. It comes from you. It's a creative process. It's something is a newborn. You don't want to really see put it in some wrong place, because that's upset me a lot many times. So I strongly suggest.
Or if they stretch it out or something.
Exactly, and that's what lockup variation stands for. So lockup variation means actually, for example, if you have an emblem and you have some type, maybe put one on top and one at the bottom if you think of a vertical layout. But if you have a landscape layout, you need to think more about horizontal organization of the info. And then we're going to use vector. I'm going to go in depth about what all this specification mean while we jump on the file straight away. Now we're going to create a little social media package just to make sure that the logo looks amazing on their Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram. And then we're going to do an exciting mock-up. So let's just start.
Are we jumping in?
Yes, let's go.
All right.
Let's do it. Should I just give you a little bit extra tip? I've got
one
extra minute. Yeah.
Sure.
So one of the deliverables will include a single color variation, which is usually black and white. I wanted to give you this little gem, which is about creating a white copy. When I create a white copy, if you look at these two here, the one behind Ari is the original black, and then you have the white as well. These two are actually the same size, but because of this optical illusion effect called irradiation distortion, you're gonna perceive the original white, even if it's exactly the same size, as a little bit bigger. You get a 10% glow of the white in contrast with the black, so it's gonna look bigger. So whenever you have a version in white, I advise to overall reduce the width of your logo just to make sure that it looks consistent with the other images of the brand published cross media. So that was like a little bit secrets that I wanted to share with you.
What about when you're creating a logo for different sizes? Do you modify for smaller size use to bigger size?
Yes, so that's when emblems and icons start to get into play. And that's what I was showing yesterday. I'm going to show you today as well. I like to create logos that are flexible so we can actually separate elements. So when we shrink to a certain size, maybe business card, we need to be able to remove part of them. So you can just actually use one part of the logo, which still recalls our value, and with a blink of an eye can make you realize which brand are you dealing with, but it's just one element.
Yeah.
So I like all this different composition.
Cool.
Let's jump in Illustrator now. Let's start to do some
work. So while we're
work.
jumping into Illustrator, just to remind you, we have our chat and win, just like every day. So you see the countdown right here below us, 6 minutes. At that time, one person will be randomly selected from the chat to win 100 stickers from Sticker Mule.
Amazing.
So we have this awesome deal with Sticker Mule. You get 100 free stickers that you can make your own. It's the fastest and easiest way to buy custom stickers.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And even if you don't win, we do have a link for a discount. So Tim will post that link in the chat as well. And just stay active in the chat. Stay here.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
And if I go too fast, or if there is something that you would like to see, or if you have any issue using or producing something and you want some extra tips that maybe I'm not mentioning, take advantage of this time here with us. As you were saying yesterday, it's a safe zone. Mistakes happen. We're here to find solutions, and that's the beauty of these apps. All the apps that we're using, InDesign, Illustrator, and Photoshop, can be used for different purposes. So maybe you realize that if you've been using Illustrator, you find yourself more comfortable in InDesign. This is a learning space, and we're sharing tips. So I will be very happy to hear your tips as well if you have any. So feel free to keep messaging us.
So I'll prompt you when the chat and win is coming, but still stay active in the chat before then. Ask us questions. I actually got a question from Paul earlier. He said, he was talking about lettering, and he said, do you have any recommendations for books on lettering or videos? You mentioned Ken Barber. He's a god. He's amazing at lettering.
You got the super specialist here, so
since
if you
it's
have
Women's
fun questions,
Day, Women's Week, I would recommend 2 awesome women lettering artists, Martina Floor and Jessica Hish. They both have books, so check out their books. They both, I believe, have Skillshare classes, so you can look at their Skillshare classes. And if you go to my Instagram and you see who I follow, and just follow all those people.
That's what I was suggesting. We got a typography artist here, so you might want to see her Instagram as well to get some inspiration.
Oh, yeah. You can be inspired by me.
She does amazing work.
Ariadne Rem on Instagram, and maybe Tim can post it on there. You can follow me. And then look who I follow, and then you'll see
you get
awesome
some amazing
people.
inspiration from there.
Yeah.
I'm learning myself. I've learned a lot already.
Okay.
So let's start from the mood boards. That's always our starting point. So my Illustrator is open. If you're working with us, make sure that you get your Illustrator open. So we're gonna start from a new file. But before start designing and before, we're always gonna jump back real quick on our stage one, which is mood boards. So just to have an idea of the client, this is the look and feel. We got our value covered here. I'm just gonna go real quick just to give you an idea.
So these are images you found to
Those were the mood boards. Those were the mood boards that I've been looking back in order to get the logo. I just want to guide you through the process. This is just a little bit of a bird eye view on what we've done, and now it comes back into play just to show you day 1, day 2, and day 3. The way that they work together. So that was the first stage that we done on the first day. Second day, that was me proposing a different variation to the client, bearing in mind the brand objectives. So having a balanced and consistent logo that talks about the independent and knowledgeable background, because the amazing lady who founded this shop, she's got amazing knowledge about the topic. So I really wanted to, have something solid and bold that will talk about her knowledge and how independent it is. So something very unique, but at the same time modern and friendly, honest and strong. So we're definitely going to look into some typography, patterns, because of course we're in the world of comics. And this is the color palette we selected with her at the end.
Lucas asked, is it okay to show the mood board to the client?
Of course, you work with your client. If you think, that's the reason why, if we go back to the name of my business is called Printmysoul. And you have to imagine that in the mouth of a client. The client, I'm just marking their identity, but it's their soul. They are the one who have the knowledge about the business. I think never make the mistake at the assumption that you know more about what they do. Our job as designers is to translate into visuals and find the best way and advise them and represent them in a very professional way by creating professional files that they can use cross media. But they are the people who, they work day in, day out in their company. They probably have a year of experience when they come to you. So value your relationship with your clients. Talk with them. If you have a chance to live in the same city, go for a coffee. First of all, it's great to build a relationship with your client, because I end up becoming friends, and I love the majority of my clients. We give each other advice. And second of all, is so valuable for you to understand what they want in order for you to represent it. So make sure you don't go on your own tangent, and always keep your process honest and work with your client. Share. And that's the reason why I made them templates available, because that's a very professional and nice and neat way to share. You don't have to bring your laptop and share your Illustrator files, even if you can do that with your new preview mode, which is actually really cool. We're going to show that today again. Those files are made to share the process, and that's what we're going to find on my Behance page on the template. So coming back to Lucky Target Comics, this is what was version 1 of the logo. And then some little adjustment, because during the review, I actually done some adjustment because the client pointed out that she wanted the name to come out a little bit more. So that was...
So underneath?
So that was like a second take, and that ended up to be the final that we're going to work with today. And here's some little mock-up just to, again, keep the client excited and show how the logo is going to work. This was version number 2. So again, I always try to give a little bit of different option. This was a little bit more of a safe option.
Okay, we have to take a second because the Chat and Win countdown is here.
Are you ready?
So we're all ready for Chat and Win. So stay active in the chat and let's go to win free stickers.
So I want to know.
All right, we're back. So let's see what you have to say in the chat.
Yes.
Stickers.
I wanted to know how to say hello in different languages.
Okay.
I want to learn.
Hello in different languages. Let's
Please.
go.
And
Let's see if
me.
we have time before it happens.
Let's see.
Even if we find a
You
winner,
guys are super
we
fast.
still want to see hello
Super
in
fast.
different languages.
Ciao.
Ciao. Yasu, I can say it in Greek.
We got some ciao.
Superwoman.
Yay! So which is
Meow.
actually,
Someone said meow. That's cat language.
yeah, we accept cat language.
We
as well.
accept it. We're
Yes.
very inclusive.
Yes, we are.
Ciao, Kladi.
Ciao.
Hola.
I wish I could read all your names, but you guys are so fast.
Patricia says hola.
Hola.
Someone said buongiorno. Hello in
Yasu.
Portuguese. Hola. Hola works for
Oi,
a lot
we
of
got oi
languages.
as well.
Oi.
Is that from Manchester?
I think it's from the Netherlands.
Oh,
They
I didn't
say-
know that.
Or somewhere.
Woo, 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 woo. Congratulations, Anna.
Anna! Congrats!
We got all ladies. We got all ladies.
Anna. Yeah, and yesterday Andrea won.
Yeah, and then we had
Such
Justin.
a
Oh,
ladies
yeah.
week. Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
Anna, you get 100 free stickers from Sticker Mule. You can create your
Congratulations.
own custom designs, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Amazing.
great. And we have a promo link. I believe it's Adobe Live 19. So just add a little 19 to that, and Tim will post it in the chat. So with that link, you also get a little promo there. You get a discount. So go to Sticker Mule and make your stickers. Oh, Aline says oi is in Portuguese.
Yeah, I was actually looking at the chat, and there is Lucas asking, how did you pick up those palettes color?
Yeah.
So that's exactly why you need to do a really good mood boards, because we use colors.adobe.com. If you go back on our day one replay, you're gonna see how easy and how mind-blowing it is to upload an image and create a color palette to use straight away in your CC library with colors.adobe. It's super easy. You just upload an image, and also you can use capture. So we spoke about that in day one as well. So go run there and see the replay, run, because that's super, super cool. We got some people addicted to capture on day one, I think.
I know.
It's a blast. It's a really, really addictive app. You can just use in your phone. You can get palettes, you can get fonts, super exciting. But let's move forward here. So this is the stage 2. So we got our color palettes, we got our typography selected from the mood boards, and then we just we built a logo. We built 3 different versions of logo to share with the clients. The file that I'm sharing with you are the file that I've shared with the clients, and are the templates they're gonna find on the Behance page. This is version 3. Again, different use on the palette, and different typography here as well. So as we said, the one that the client picked was version 1. So we're just gonna open Illustrator and start to work on how to create all these amazing files. So hopefully,
You have so many versions.
yes, because I have different storage. Let's hope if this one works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying congrats,
Perfect.
Anna. We have such a supportive community.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Everyone loves each other in the chat, I think. I just see them talking to each other. It's so exciting.
That's so cool.
Even if I don't have time to respond to you, I can see that you're answering each other's questions and just saying
Yeah.
hello. So
And
I
then
love
when
that.
I'm finished here, I'm part of the chat as well. I
Yeah.
love to take part of the chat during the other lives, so it's nice. Even if sometimes I get asked like Italian recipes, so that's part of the fun.
What's your favorite Italian recipe?
I think lasagna is like,
Mm.
or ragu, bolognese. Oh my gosh, you're getting me hungry now.
Uh-oh.
Let's get back into focus here. So this is the file that we're aiming to produce today. So those are all the so-called deliverables, which are the files that we're going to give to the clients. As we can see, we got a little bit of social media avatars, covers, and business card background. But let's start from the very beginning. So we're going to start from the approved logo, which is this one. I'm just going to copy it. And then I'm gonna open a new file with Command N. Now, this first version that we're gonna create, they're vectors. The beauty of vectors, so this is gonna be our first folders of our deliverables. Vectors file are gonna be used for print. So you wanna make sure that when you open your file, you're working in CMYK color. CMYK stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And those are the color composites of print.
Oh,
so each
if
color,
you're working in digital, it's RGB and
in
print.
digital is RGB, and we're gonna use digital later on for our raster file, which is also part of the package and the deliverables, and we're gonna look into that in depth a little bit when we're gonna do the files. If you go on your Behance file, you're gonna have a list So all the specification that we are outlining now, you're gonna find on the templates, but make sure that you stay tuned on this live or on the replay to see how to activate all this specification.
We have a question from Danny. What was your first job as a graphic/logo designer?
So I actually started in a printer company called printer.com, and my job was to create templates, which is a little bit of a designer nightmare because you want to be creative. While in there were a lot of restriction, but again, your background always helped. I learned how to work with restriction, which is probably one of the hardest things to do as a designer, and it was amazing. And also, I wasn't really allowed to go, and that's like my graffiti sneaky background, because you need to have specific shoes to go in the actual printing room, because they're really heavy machinery. They're like massive guillotine to cut flyers or books, and I would just sneak in there. Like, so, you know, the most exciting part, and I learned myself how exciting it is to see a digital work becoming a print work.
Yeah.
So I would just used to go around this lithographic massive machine to see all these big runs of paper. It's really, really exciting. So that was my first job as a designer. And that's how I approached working for a printer. That's my background. So here we go. We're gonna set CMYK, and we're gonna put our raster effect to 300 dpi, and we're gonna name our file as, in this case, the brand name is Lucky Target Comics. So I'm just gonna put LTC logo package. I usually just write PKG for package, and I usually start with any kind of artboard, mainly because when we're gonna, I actually copied the logo version from our design file here, from our Illustrator file, and then I'm gonna hit Command V to paste it. So what happened here, the design is bigger of the artboard. You might need to make sure to select your artboard and then select the design and all of it. And then you will go on your object menu and then artboards and fit to selected art. Now we're gonna produce a lot of files, so we're gonna have to do that many, many times. Therefore, I created a little shortcut, because just to save time, we can always add shortcuts on our program. So I actually created a shortcuts that you see here. This is not available by default. Feel free to use it. If you don't know how to create shortcuts, we can do that real quick. You just go on the menu, edit menu, and then go to keyboard shortcuts. If you select that panel, comes up, and you will go on your menu command here, and then as we did before is object, and then you'll find our artboards. Let's see, down here, and in this case we want fit to selected art, and you just click on the shortcut and you can type in whatever you want. I had this shortcut free, so my shortcut is Option Command comma, and that's so super useful. Once you selected your shortcut, you just have to press OK. And all you do, in this case, I've got my artboard selected, because you can see there is a bit of a dark outline, and I've got my artwork selected. And all I do is press Option Command comma, ta-da! I don't even have to hit the menu. It's just like
That's awesome.
one click. So feel free to use the same that I use. If it's available, if it's free, you can just do it. So there we go. That's our first file. The first version that we're gonna create is a black and white version, and we're gonna touch into what we spoke yesterday, how to edit color very fast. So what I will do with my artwork selected, I will go with the selection tool, which is the black arrow here, and we're gonna press Alt. As you can see, we got a little white arrow coming in the background. We're just gonna click and drag, and we just created a copy of our file. So what we're gonna do with artwork selected, we're just gonna go into Edit, Edit Colors, Recolor Artwork. That will open a new panel. I actually wanna do something about that, because we need to create a palette first, which is black and white, because that's what we need. So let's cancel this for now. And let's go back on our swatches here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a new group by clicking on this new color group. We're gonna call it single color or single C like I like to do, and just hit select as swatches for now. So we're gonna have an empty folder. And then we're gonna import just simply by dragging the white and then the black. And that's another little trick I'm gonna share with you guys. Working in print, usually black when it gets printed, if you use the normal black, it tends to look like a gray. But we want our logo to be strong and powerful and to pop out the page. So that's when we use what is called a rich black. We double click on the black. Let's see what happened here. So all our logo went black. So let's cancel and hit Command Z and make sure that we deselect our logo, because we don't want to affect the logo at the moment. We're just changing the values of our swatches. So to deselect your logo, just click on your pasteboard and then go back and double click on your swatch here. And we're gonna put the K value to 100. And what I usually do, I just give like a 70% of a blue. That really gives like a power and a depth to your palette. So we're just gonna press OK, and we saved our CMYK value here. Now that we have our single color swatch, we're gonna select our heart again, and we're gonna go into edit colors. If you see now, once you hit the recolor artwork panel, we have our single C palette here. So if you press that, we have our design translated into black and white. In this instant, it's just taking the white, because it actually, I don't know if you've seen it before, this white and gray color were still into white. So all I did is simply dragged and swapped the values here. So those are the current color, and those are gonna be the new color. What I like to do also is to click on this little arrow to make sure that we double click on exact, because if we want to work on black and white, we just want to keep, oops, what that happened there? What did I do? What did I do there? Let's cancel, because I'm not sure what I'm hitting there. Let's do it again. So edit colors, recolor artwork, select our single color, and then swapped from black to white. And then, do you want to add a new color to the current harmony? Press yes. And now we're gonna hit OK and see what happens there. Okay, so the changes that is asking to change, that he's asking here, is because I swapped from white to black. So in this case, just because of the way that this logo is built, I should have put a black before the white on our swatches panel up here. So it's not a really big change. So you can just press yes. And as you can see, we have the black here as a first color in our palette.
Cool.
So
a lot of people are asking more deeper questions about the logo.
Okay.
Like, how do you choose between using an icon and letter forms? What's the thought process behind that? And also, how did you choose to use these shapes? Like, they just want to know more about your design process. So maybe you can talk about that later. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I always the reason why probably I went a little bit too fast, because I wanted to jump in Illustrator, but I'm very happy to just go back real quick. It's all about the mood boards, and it's all about the branding, and it's all about the relationship with your client and what the client wants. So I will outline those as the 3 golden rules to make choice. I don't make choice based on my own taste. I make choice based on my own knowledge and the client's vision. So again, our job as designers to translate words and concepts into images. As we seen yesterday, the word logo comes from Greek. How do you say it in Greek?
Logos.
Logos.
It
Hear the beautiful pronunciation
words or
here.
Speech.
Yeah, so the logo has to speak for the brand. The logo is not the brand. The brand is the emotional feelings that the customer have about the company and the product. And we need to make sure that our typeface, our palette, remind us of this emotion and trigger this emotion into the customer. So that's how I make my choices. And I don't just make a choice based on my own imagination. That's what the mood boards are there for. So if we have a look at the mood boards I created for this client, as you can see, mood boards are always there. Even if we're at the very last stage, we're creating actually files to print. Those are the last files. We're still coming back to mood boards. So that's where the shapes come from. So those are the colors. The colors palette, again, have been selected using color.adobe.com, where you can upload a screenshot or an image that you find relevant, or your client send you, say, you know, I love the color palette of this image. All you gotta do is to go on color.adobe.com. Should we show one, just an example for the people that were not here? You can always go back and have a look at our replays, but I think it'll be exciting just to have a...
Yeah, it's a quick process.
Yeah, it's a quick process, so we can do it. So let's go on our look and feel. So I think this image works nice. All I'm gonna do is Shift Command 4. That's what it works for Mac. I'm not sure about PC. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just taking a screenshot of my page. And then I'm just gonna go on color.adobe.com.
By the way, I want to say hi to India because there's a lot of people from India.
Oh, hello everyone.
Talking right now.
Hello everyone.
Special
Thank you so
shout
much
out
for
to
joining.
India because of the time difference as well.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm just gonna redo so I can actually show you guys. So I went on color.adobe.com. It's free. All you have to do is to log in. Actually, I think you can use it without being logged in as well. But if you are logged in, you're gonna have the super special power to import into your library straight away. So the palette is gonna be available into your environment. Let's see how mind-blowing that is. So I'm just gonna click on import image here, and then select the screenshot that we just took, press open. So from our mood board, we actually have an automatic selection, but we can go and select the color that we prefer. And look how much in the details it goes. That's amazing. That's a real game changer. So I'm just gonna randomly select it for you guys now, because the main point here is to have an idea on how this works. And then if you see these three dots on your right, if you click on them, be able to call LTC, which is the name of the brand, palette number 4, and then you can choose your cloud or library to save it. In this case, I'm gonna save it on my LTC library, which is a library that I created for this client, and hit save. And look what happened. When I go back in my InDesign, yeah, that's actually the template that you guys have. So let's imagine that this is the mood board that you're creating. When you are in your palette slide, all you gotta do is go back in your CC libraries and make sure that you select the right libraries that you save it on. In this case is LTC, and here we go. It's there.
So easy.
All you gotta do is select one of the boxes and click on the colors, and then you can create your palette. Then you're gonna show those to your client. That's a really big reason why it's important to share with your client. And we're gonna, talk together towards what you think is the best solution, they think is the best solution, and that's how we came to the final choices for this brand. And same for the typography.
The best part is that you can have this template.
Yes, the best part is that you can do that for your own project, because this is available for you. Colors.adobe.com is available for all of you. With your subscription, you'll be able to use the library. This is the power of the workflow. I think that's one of the main things that I wanted to share with you guys. That's how valuable time is for designer. If you think how busy you get and how many things you have to do, having such a tool that allows you to have such a fast workflows is mind-blowing. Like, I used to take ages to do this kind of stuff. Go with the eye picker on each image. It was just a mess. Now they're all here. And also, if you hover on the color, you even get the X value and the RGB composition of the color. So
that's awesome.
And also, you can import that into Illustrator. So mind-blowing game changer here, guys.
So Tim just posted the link again. Tim's been posting it a lot. He followed my instructions.
Good. So let's go back.
That's where you can download the templates, guys.
And also, to see a little bit more in depth all this information, make sure that you go on our replays. So it's behance.net/live/replay. You're gonna see my face there, and that was day 1. That's what we did on our day 1. So make sure that you go and watch our replay there. So in terms of creating the black and white, I'm just gonna import these two from our file here, because I wanted to show a very important trick here. So I just copied and paste. So once we change the color, as you can see, one of the main difference here is that we gave an outline. So I want to show you how to create this outline. And the outline is very important because those are the one that you're going to place on a dark and clear background, and that's the entire purpose of creating all of this logo, because we want to think ahead, because we don't want to leave it to another designer or to a printer to change the color of your logo. You want to be the one making decision. So as you can see, this works. By the way, what I've done here, I've just selected the rectangle tool from our menu and then created just a rectangle, and then I'm gonna use the shortcut Command Shift bracket to send it to the back and to show you how nicely our logo pops on a black, but also if we change this into a white, you're still gonna be able to see the logo nicely defined with our stroke. So I wanna show you guys how to create this stroke around the logo once you change the color. So once you edit the color using the edit colors that we've done before, by using edit colors with our single colors palette, what we're gonna do, we need to create the stroke. So in order to create the stroke, again, I will select my entire logo here, and then with our selection black arrow, we're gonna click out and duplicate, creating a copy. Making sure that your artwork is selected, I'm gonna go on my Pathfinder. And then first of all, because I have a pattern here and I have a mask, and we're gonna talk about mask in Illustrator in a second, which are super cool feature, I'm gonna hit merge, just to make sure that there is no image outside the stroke. And after we click merge, we click on unite, and we are on the Pathfinder panel here. So look what happened. We actually have a single color, and it's actually a stroke. If we go on our wire mode with hitting Command Y, we see that there is, look at that, this is all the masked object before. We're gonna talk about mask in a second. What happened here, we flattened and our mask, and we just created a single shape simply by merging and uniting, that's how you say it? Sorry, I was just gonna make up a new Italo-English word, and clicking on unite on your Pathfinder menu. So you merge, you unite, and that's how you start to create your stroke. Let's go back on our normal view, hitting Command Y. What you're gonna do here, because we need an outside stroke, we're gonna make sure that we have none selected on our fill in our swatch menu. And then when we select our stroke, we can actually go on our stroke panel here on your right. I'm working in Essential. So if you just go on our stroke panel, if you don't have it here, all you gotta do is go into Window and Stroke and make sure that that is selected. So that's how you can find your stroke. I'm gonna give it a weight of 1 point. And I wanna make sure that it is sitting outside, because if we're gonna put that behind the logo, we don't know, like only half, so half of a point is gonna show, and we don't want it inside, because if we do inside, it's actually gonna be behind the logo, so it's pretty much useless. We want it to be outside our logo. So that's, we're gonna select here align stroke to the outside, and as you can see, stroke goes to the outside.
Really important.
Now, we need to bear in mind that if we're gonna scale, and again, vector is all about scaling. Using vector, each single point of this vector is a mathematical function, and that's the amazing, unbelievable work that Illustrator does for you. Each single point is a mathematical function, so you can easily scale to any size without losing quality. So we can stretch it as big as a building, as big as a van, or tiny to do a tiny pin or for a business card, and the logo is always gonna look sharp and marvelous. And that's the reason why we're creating these deliverables, this file to give our client, because we want our logo to look amazing all the time. So once we created the stroke, to make sure that the stroke gets scaled without changing width, we want to go to Object. So make sure that you got your stroke selected, Path, Outline Stroke. So what that does, I'm just going to zoom in, the stroke actually became a shape. Once you've done that, you can just grab your logo. I'm just gonna hit Alt and drag it. So this is the version without the stroke that we created before by editing color and using our single color palette. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select both the stroke and then press and hold Shift and to have a double selection. So we select our logo and then go to our Align panel and making sure that it's aligned to selection, we're gonna align vertically and horizontally.
Ooh.
And ta-da!
No dragging.
Nope. Super fast, super
Nice.
quick. Now what we need is to put that into artboard, so we'll be able to save it afterwards. So all I'm gonna do with our special new shortcut that we created before, if you wasn't tuned before, I created a shortcut to fit my graphic elements into an artboard. That allows me just to create an artboard of any size and just simply hit OK. What I do here, I select the stroke and the artwork. I'm just gonna group it by using the shortcut Command G. So every time that we make a selection now, we move it around, we make sure that we move both the stroke and the artwork. Otherwise, you will incur issues like that, and we don't want that to happen. I just hit Command Z to go back there. So once we select our art and we make sure that our artboard is selected, we use the shortcut that I've created, which is Option Command, comma, to fit the artboard to the selected art. If you don't have that shortcut in your, if you're not in your preferences, you can still go to Object, Menu, Artboards, and then Fit to Selected Art, which is this one here. And it does exactly what my shortcut does. I strongly advise to create a shortcut in your preferences, in your, Edit, keyboard shortcuts menu, because you're going to use that a lot. So I'm just going to select the artboard and just place it under our logo. We're going to do the same for this black version. So we're just going to select it and use it below. Create a new artboard with this artboard tool, which we can trigger also with the shortcut Shift O. And I'm just going to create again. It doesn't matter the size because we're going to fit it to our art. So I'm going to press V to release and go back to the normal view and get out of the artboard tool, and I'm going to select my art. And then again, Object, Artboards, Fit to Selected Art. Are you starting to see how many times we're going to use that today? We're going to use it many times.
No wonder you have a shortcut.
Yes.
That makes sense.
So we can get rid of this because that's just a copy. So I'm just going to select it and press Delete.
Okay, so the top one is the color. The second one is to put on a white background, and the third.
Sorry, I was
What's the
listening
difference?
the
Why
chat.
do you have the two black and white ones? Are they for white and black backgrounds?
Yes, we are for white and black backgrounds. That's the reason, that's what I was saying before. I like to think ahead. I don't want to leave my logo to chances or to other designers. I want to make sure that, and also you were asking me yesterday, how do you kind of establish when it's okay to give, when it's too much, when you're giving too much to your clients? I like to make my clients independent, and I like to make them feel taken care of. So I actually realized that the more I give at the beginning, the more likely are they to come back because they really feel like taken care of. And also, my work looks professional on every media. So it just looks like a job well done. And we have this amazing tool to do all this workflow so fast, so why not to use it?
Yeah.
So again, I think about black background, white background. We're gonna look at that. Maybe let me give you like a little heads up of what we're aiming to deliver at the end. So that probably give you an idea of why we're creating all of this. Let's see.
I think a few people have been talking about how you could fit to the artboard using the artboard tool. Jean-Christophe says, artboard tool, click on the selected object, and then boom, the artboard takes the shape of the object.
So artboard tool.
Oh, so if you click on the logo.
So we need to have a copy which is outside. I just copy
And
it.
then using the artboard tool, if you click on that object, he says.
Wow.
That's a good
Thank you
tip.
so much. So we are learning.
Yeah, another good way to do that.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. We love this new, that's, again, learning space. That's a new tip for me. Thank you so much. That's so exciting. So yeah, if you don't have an artboard, depends again the way you're working. If you're working without an artboard, that could be a very, very quick tool. Should we show it again just real quick?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna Command Z to undo and see what we've done. So in this case, we have a graphic without an artboard. So we're just gonna select the object and then click on the artboard tool And then with the artboard tool selector, we're just going to click on our artboard and it's going to fit it to the art. That's very, very amazing.
Nice tip. A couple people said that. So
Yeah, otherwise,
we have a lot of knowledgeable people in the audience.
otherwise, if you are already working with artboards and you already have a bigger artboard and, you know, instead of deleting it and coming back, you can always use the object and fit to selected art. So those are like, again, that's the magic of this app. There are so many different ways to use it, depending on what your situation are. So those are two different cases and they're both super amazing. So thank you so much for sharing that, guys.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Right, so we done our first vectors. Now we talked about having different shapes. And yeah, I wanted to show you just a little bit of a heads up of what we are heading to do today. So this is gonna be our final file. So we wanna make sure behind you there is a black and white version. If you wanna just like...
Can we move to the other side so that we can just see? Yeah,
we're
just gonna travel.
Yay!
There we go.
We're in the future.
Thanks, Paco.
Thank you, Paco. So yeah, what we've done here is those are exactly the file that we're creating. So you can see how they come into play into the final core brand mark document. And by the way, guess what? This is in your template as well. So you're gonna have these on my Behance page. So behance.net/printmysoul. The first project are these amazing InDesign templates, so you can use it. So let's go back and create our files first.
Can I ask you a question from Luis in the chat?
Please.
He said, was it hard to begin as a freelancer, and how did you manage to do that?
So again, I have a very diverse background. My first degree is in public relation, and I'm Italian and I talk a lot. And no kidding, that's like part of that tool, that, you know, that personal toolkit. That's your background. I think it's very bespoke to each one of us to make sure that you use what you have learned in order to build your own career. I use my background, you know, I could have a completely different approach and be like, oh, I'm like so far away from the graphic design. I don't have a graphic design degree. What am I gonna do? The approach is always to see the opportunity there. So my vision was, okay, I got a degree in public relation. How can I use that in order to gain clients? So make sure that you're, first of all, very aware of your own skills, no matter where they come from. You know, you can have an example with my street skills of being a graffiti artist, of someone who paints on the wall and pick colors. So first of all, you need to be aware of your own skills. For me, the difficulty was that, of course, I was in UK and I'm from Italy, so I was in a different country, and it was a little bit different to build new contacts. But just be out there. Go to graphic design events. Make sure you participate to the network. Networking is a very, very great point. Watch tutorials. Participate to these live, just to make sure that you build enough skill to feel confident. So passion, confidence, those are key ingredients. You can always learn the tool. You know, we got this live, we got so many tutorials. There is the Adobe blog that shows you so many ways to use these apps. And you see, you can do so much. I mean, the creativity, you know, you can unleash your creativity to the next level with these apps, because that's what we're doing today. But the reason why I show you so many projects is just to show you, like, you can really create anything that you imagine. And it's the same from your career. I just built a studio because I knew that that's what I wanted to do, and I slowly, again, patient. That's another important piece of your toolkit. Passion, perseverance, and patience. And slowly, you're gonna start to build clients. I had my first client when I was in uni. So I went back to study graphic design, and then I'm gonna share this little story with you. Yeah. My first big client, I literally got it because I moved in a new flat. I was in Manchester by myself, and I needed a new bed. And being a little bit of a feisty Italian, I was on the phone and I was ordering a bed. And I was speaking with the person that was at the phone. I didn't know who it was, ended up being the director. And I was like, by the way, I really struggled to find the right mattress that I was looking for. Your website is not very well designed. That's what I do, so maybe I have a different critique on it. But, you know, I think you should really work. So give advice, you know, go, in my case, I work with small, medium businesses. So I just was giving advice for free. And the person on the phone was the director, and they told me, oh, we're really looking for a designer. You know, we're really looking to redesign everything. And that became a main client for the first 2 years. And that allowed me to build a business. So make sure that you keep your...
anything by giving your opinion and saying, you know, by the way, like people always want help. And it's a lot of work to try to find someone to help you with something. Like looking for designers, seeing if you can work with them, if you like their personality. And if you're already there, already talking to them, and already have willingness to help, then I'm sure, you know.
But even like connecting here with us, you know, you're already doing something great, because feel free to message me afterwards, you know, just talking with someone who's already in the environment, and maybe portfolio reviews, what we're going to do today. Yeah. That's a really big step to start.
So you have about 20 more minutes to submit your portfolio for us.
Yes, please do.
But you can still submit again for Julia or Whitney to look at your portfolio later in the day. So that's a great opportunity. Send it in.
Yes.
You have really experienced people looking at your work. I know it's hard to show your work on the live stream because it's probably nerve-wracking.
Be brave.
Yeah, but
I'm showing my entire workflow here, so you know, I'm learning as well. So this is a safe space. We said it yesterday as well. This is a safe space to learn. This is actually a place where to learn how to overcome mistake and how these super powerful programs actually help you to solve mistakes and how to deliver professional files. So we're all learning here. So don't be afraid. We're just going to give you advice for you to improve. Worst case scenario, you're going to improve.
Do you have any designers that influence your style?
Oh, absolutely, constantly.
That's a question from Lucas, and
constantly.
He asked twice,
First of all, my colleagues in Manchester. I have the honor to call friends, many colleagues. I live, I work and I live in a building that is populated mostly by designers.
Oh, that's cool.
And I have a huge respect for all my colleagues. I think that since I started, probably because I was coming from a different background, so I was more like an admirer of the work, I started to build, like I had a huge respect, which I still have now for all my colleagues. So I go and talk to them, you know, I go and talk to other designers, and I still look up to my friends and colleagues because we are in the same environment, we are facing the same struggles. So I think sharing and networking is a very great opportunity to learn.
So you feel more inspired by your peers and colleagues rather than saying like, oh, this star designer, I'm going to follow them.
Yeah, I'm a big believer into keeping things down to earth and real, and to be aware of the people outside you. Of course, I go on Instagram and I've got my amazing designer. Like I think one of the best, I hope that I pronounce her name right, is Camila Walala.
Okay.
She does shapes and graph is very similar to the work that I achieved to do. So simple shapes and bold palette, and she's taking over the world. She's redesigning interiors for hotel. If you want to search, she's actually super amazing. If you can go on her Instagram, I think she's done a new hotel in Miami now. She's really amazing. Camille Walala. Yeah.
Okay.
If you can have a look at her work. Look at that.
So this is really awesome. This is her website. That's so cool. Very bold. She was a
designer, yeah. And now she went from doing design to doing wall to doing entire buildings and what's not.
Look at this awesome facade.
That. Yeah.
Wow. It's kind of like comic book. It kind of reminds me of your logo.
Yeah, that's why
Were you inspired?
Probably the first that came in my mind.
This is totally like the L from your...
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Right?
No, I didn't have that in my mood board,
because when you really like people's work, it can come through without you noticing, and that's awesome.
Yeah, let's have a look there.
Cool.
It's really,
So
I love that.
Thanks for answering those questions.
I actually wanted to add a little tip since we're talking about books as well. There is a book that I received from a friend, and it's called Go Givers. I don't know if you ever read it. Go Givers. Go Givers.
Okay.
So it's a book that is about the power of giving. So even in this case, we're creating all these files for our client. Maybe we're giving a little bit more, but all this is going to come back to you. So the more care, it's a little bit of a more formalized business rules to what karma stands for. So the more you give out, the more you're taking care of what you're doing, the more you're going to come back.
The Go Giver by Bob Berg?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Oh,
So I strongly
cool.
love that reading advice. That
Okay, reading advice.
Yes, reading advice.
By the way, Dario said you're his favorite guest he's seen.
Oh,
on the
thank you
live.
so much.
We can't see the chat now because more people have chatted and it's gone up, but I
Oh,
wanted
thank
to
you so
tell
much. It's so, so sweet, guys. You
Yeah.
make me blush.
Also,
So-
Haley says you're amazing.
Where is Haley?
And Cassie says that's amazing.
Hi, Haley. So Haley is actually my housemate, and she's taking care of my little cat, Frida.
Oh.
Hi, Haley. Little
Welcome.
cuddles for you and Frida. Miss you guys. Oh, that's amazing. So sweet to see so many friends here. Thank you so much for joining, guys. I really enjoy my time here, and I hope to be back soon. So let's move forward here. So we already done our main version of a vector, CMYK, and it's a vector file. So we're gonna be using it in all different applications, in any different scale, without losing any quality. Now we talk about creating different lookups. We're just gonna give you a quick example. So again, I'm just gonna make a copy of my logo, again, selecting it, then pressing the Alt key to make a copy and drag it while holding the Alt key, Option key, and release. And I'm gonna just use these LTC and group it. And then if you're thinking, for example, a header or, you know, a more of a landscape background, or maybe an invite or something that is like a DL shape, so a rectangular shape, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna move this lucky target and align it to the top of our LTC logo. So we're just gonna select both items and then making sure that we're aligned to selection and align to the top. And then I'm gonna hit Command R on our keyboard, and as you can see, we have our rulers coming, and I'm gonna zoom in on the very bottom of the T here. That's a question that I had for you actually. Oops, I went on the actual artboard. So yeah, I wanna go here on our rulers and drag down, and you can see a line coming through, and I'm just gonna place it at the bottom of our T. So as someone who deals with font and typography all the time, when we talk about aligning, we know that we have a different way of aligning, which is optical, which, for example, the optical will be...
Any curves
Yeah.
should be larger than the straight.
So I actually... My practice, I always align to not to the round, but to the flat part of the letters or shapes, even if it's not a letter, just because I think that there are usually less curves and there are more straight line, and overall it gives a little bit of a better look. Do you have any advice for that? Because what we're gonna do now, we're gonna select our rectangle here, and by holding the Shift key in order to keep proportion, we're gonna drag it down until we actually intersect to the guide that we created before, thanks to our ruler. By the way, if you want to see these little help smart guys, make sure that to go on View and have your smart guys selected. They are really, really huge helper and time savers. So do you have any advice regarding this alignment? Would you align it to the curve, or would you align it to the straight line?
Yeah, so just to give everyone a basic overview of what we're talking about, let's say you have 3 shapes on a line. You have a square, a triangle, and a circle. Your circle is going to look a little smaller optically if you align it to the same baseline as your other shapes. Just because the round is totally different, and to your eye it'll look smaller. So you always want your round shapes to overshoot the line. That's what we say when we're designing fonts. So
that's the overshooting part that you're
yeah,
mentioning?
the overshoot is the part that goes below the baseline. Yeah. So every font that you look at, the O has overshoots, the top of the lowercase n has an overshoot, anything curving. So I would say, like, don't be afraid to experiment and see where your overshoot should be, so that when you like zoom out, the letters look the same size. And I would even overshoot more for your C here.
Yeah.
Possibly. Like, you could just,
You've
honestly,
been approved, cannot
since
touch
it's
it anymore.
optical, it's up to your eye.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
no math.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you could probably calculate, like, oh, a circle is it needs to be 10% more or whatever. But
No,
it's your eye.
And that's why I wanted your expert opinion, because it's, you know, it's always like a personal choice. Of course, we cannot touch this logo because it's been already approved and it's already out there. We're actually going to see the website. It's all live. It's already been used.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a look at that in a moment.
But
yeah, I think that was a really...
If I was putting that lock up there,
Yeah.
I would definitely line it up with the T baseline and keep the C below.
So we can get rid of this guide that we created, and we're just gonna keep the one that is aligned to our rectangle, and we're gonna leave the curve overhanging here. And if you're designing, you might wanna listen to our advice and just experiment a little bit more, even with a further overhanging here. Those are so many good advice that we're learning today, aren't they? So again, we're gonna select our new logo, new version of the logo, these new lockups, and we're gonna use the brand new tips that we learned in our chat. Thank you so much, guys. So we're just gonna select our artboard tool, and we're just gonna click. Oh, see?
Love it.
That's only selecting one, so we maybe have to group it. So I'm gonna hit Command Z, and I'm gonna select both and group it. So Command G to group it, and let's see if that's work. It's the first day that I'm using this this tool. I've just learned it from the chat, so let's see if this one works. Yes. So okay, that's another tip. If you have more than one element, we're learning how to use the artboard tool together today. So if you have one or more elements, you want to group it first before clicking on it to make sure that it selects the entire art. That's what we did here. Select them both, Command G to group, and then you're gonna go on your artboard tool and click on the graphic, and the artboard is gonna automatically fit to your graphic. We can get rid of this guide now just by simply selecting with our selection tool and press delete.
We have a question from Wakar. Sometimes when I scale my illustrations, it increases weight. How can I fix that?
That's what we did with the stroke before. So if you want to just have a look, we're just going to use the line segment tool, and we're just going to give it a stroke of, let's say, 1. Once I scale the design, as you said, the actual the width of the stroke is gonna increase. To avoid that, whenever you get stroke in your design, make sure you select them, go on Object, Path, Outline Stroke. If you can see now the difference, your stroke has become a shape. I'm actually gonna do it again and show it to you guys in wire view. So if you're gonna see with Command Y, we have a line here. Now that the line is selected, we're gonna go on Object, Path, Outline Stroke, and magic, we have a shape. Now because it's a shape, you're gonna be able to scale the shape, and that is not gonna affect your width. So hopefully that answered to your question. I'm just gonna delete that because we're not gonna use it. So another question that you had before is that how do you use elements when you shrink? So perhaps with this logo, another good way is to split these two elements. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get the Lucky Target Comet strap on its own and the LTC on its own, because we can use it in different instances. And if we have a very, very tiny way of placing it, I think that just by using this will be the most considered option here. So again, we're gonna select our art, go on Artboard, click on the graphic, and here we go, and we're gonna do that again. So I think in terms of option, we created really good variation here for our client. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna start saving them. Now, when we save vector, I always advise to create a folder of vectors, which again are gonna be used for print. So you wanna make sure that your color mode is in CMYK. If you've not done it before, what you're gonna do, are you gonna go on your file, document mode, and make sure the CMYK is selected here. Then we're gonna use AE and EPS. AE is probably the proprietary file, so it's what Illustrator use. I think in the past EPS was the main file for Illustrator. Now it's the AE file. The super amazing thing of AE file, we're gonna see in a second, is that you can actually import it and place it in InDesign straight away, because what AI file do, they embed a PDF version with a transparent background. So you can actually use it on InDesign and then print it. It looks amazing. So
Cool.
we're gonna do that. So we're gonna actually, and I'm gonna share another trick, hidden trick, a little gem for you guys. When we go and save, we can go to File and save a copy, or simply use the shortcut Shift Command S to open your Save As panel. We're gonna create a new folder called Logo Package by clicking on New Folder. I'm gonna call it LTC Logo Package and create. As you can see, when you save in AI, it doesn't allow you to use artboards. And that can be annoying because that means that you're gonna have to create new files all the time, which is a really, really time consumer. But we have a hidden gem here. So if we actually click on save, then if you scroll down, there is save each artboard to a separate file. So if you do that, and you can select all or just a range of artboards here. In this case, we want all of them. And you press OK. Let's see what happens. Let's go back on my desktop here. We created the folder. That's the folder that we created. So LTC Logo Package. And here we are. We have all our file created on a AI, sorry. Dyslexia coming, taking over.
Do you say E in Italian?
Yeah, I say E in Italian. So what I'm gonna create here, just to move fast because time is gone. I wanted to show you so many things, guys.
I know.
So we're actually gonna go ahead and save them on an EPS. So Command Shift S and EPS. In this case, will allow you to use artboards. So I'm gonna just select all directly from the Save As panel, and we're gonna save it and press OK. One really brief advice that I wanna give you here is how to do a mask, because we mentioned it before, and I wanna make sure that we actually do it. So we're gonna create real quick. I just wanna go back and make sure that we saved all our EPS. As you can see, they're all here.
Perfect.
So ready to be packaged and delivered to a client. So those are like file that you can send over.
So you have 7 minutes.
Yes,
for
I'm
your
just gonna
mask.
do it very, very fast. So artboard tool, again, in this case, we're actually gonna give it a size, which is, for example, a Facebook cover. So if you drag and drop and then press enter, you'll be able to modify the pixel. I think the 2019 version is 828 pixel by 465 pixel. And that's way too big for what we're doing here now. I'm just gonna Command Z and make sure that we move this a little bit more down so we have more space, and press enter. So it's 828 and 465 and press OK. Perfect. So what I wanted to do is to use the letter of our logo. I'll just have them here separated. Let's see. LTC.
What font did you use for the,
I think
I don't know what it's called, the tagline?
I think it's a trade Gothic there. So I'm just gonna move fast, guys. I just wanna show you. I'm just gonna use this vector and stretch them out to create a pattern that actually uses the letters. And in order to do that, we really have to go outside our
Comfort zone?
board. No, outside our artboard. Sorry, I was just making sure. So I'm just gonna copy and paste the previous one I created, but just for you guys to have a hint, I'm just literally copy and pasting different version in order to create a pattern to use it. As you can see here, we have a lot of different things overhanging from the artboard. So first of all, what we learned yesterday is that we can go on our window, view, trim view, to see how it looks like. But in order to save it and use for our file, we're gonna create a mask. So in order to create a mask, you distribute your elements, then you select them all, and you Command G, you group them, and then we're gonna go and get a rectangle tool for the same size as your artboard, and making sure that it's on top of our design. Now with your design selected and grouped at the back, and your, just press that again, and then your rectangle sitting on the bottom, we're gonna select both of the item and press Command 7. And look what happens.
Oh, cool.
You actually created a mask in Illustrator. Isn't that super cool? Now, these masks are also editable. So if you resize them using the Shift key, you actually resize the design as it is. If you want to modify it, all you have to do is to double click and you'll be able to move your elements around. And then when you click back, you still have your mask active. Or if you, for example, want to do a Twitter background, which is a different size, I believe is a little bit shorter and longer because it's 1500 pixel by 500. All you do is just click on your rectangle, stroke here, and then having this blue line selected, you just change the size of the mask.
Cool.
Isn't that super cool? Now, all these files are going to be ready to be imported in InDesign. If you open the template that you will find, you'll have a template for a proposal, which is our stage 3, which is the very last day. What we can do here, you just have to substitute these elements. So in this case, we're gonna go and click on our logo and delete it and use our frame tool like we did on day 1 by selecting the frame tool, which is this little rectangle with the X, or you can just trigger it with the shortcut F and drag it down here, and then use the shortcut Command D and go back on one of your the file that we created, which is our desktop, I believe, and then import an AI file. Click open. Here we go. Now the proportion of our frame was a little bit smaller. You can use a shortcut which is Shift Command E. Sorry, is a Shift Command Option E to make sure that your artwork is within the constriction of the frame. So I'm just gonna undo it, Control Z, and again is Shift Alt Command E. So that's the way that you can use your template, and that's the way you will present it to the client as well with the file. I'm so sorry that we didn't have enough time to go through the mock-ups. That's a little bit of a shame. Maybe next time, because we got 2 minutes left. Is that correct?
Till we review portfolios, yeah.
Are we gonna have a little bit more time afterwards?
We'll have about 15 minutes.
Amazing. So we're going to be able to do the mock-ups afterwards.
Yeah,
That's
get
perfect.
it ready so that we can go straight into there.
So I'm going to use these 2 minutes to create the second version of the file, which is the raster. Raster file are JPEGs and PNG. The main difference is that JPEG has a very, very good compression of the file, but it has a background. And if you don't set a background, it's default white. While PNG are super awesome because they will allow you to have a transparent background. So in order to do that, we're gonna have to change into RGB because raster files are usually used into the digital environment. So maybe a logo to use for your website and so on. We're gonna hit File, Document Color Mode, and switch to RGB. In this case, instead of saving as, we're gonna have to export, and you do that by clicking on the File menu, Export, Export As. And you're gonna have it down here, a selection of either PNG, which again is gonna give you a transparent background, or JPEG. I usually hit JPEG, use artboard. I think we got 7 artboards here. I don't really need the last one, so I'm just gonna do 1 to 6. And maybe in our folder here, I'm just gonna create another one called raster and create, and then another one called JPEG and create. So we got our file nice and organized, and then export. Make sure it's on RGB, which is the color mode that we selected before, and the resolution for screen is 150. Used to be 72, but now with the new Retina display, we kind of need it a little bit bigger. So 150 is the one to go. Press OK, and you'll have your file saved in your folder. Let's double check. I know we got 13 seconds, but we can do it. So we go on our logo package, raster, JPEG, and here we go. We got our file saved as a raster,
nice.
ready to use.
Great. Okay, so Clyde says, great session. Thanks for joining, Clyde.
Thank you so much.
And thanks to those of you that submitted your portfolios.
Yes, let's have a look.
We're at that time.
Let's have a look. Super curious
so
to see
I'm
what
just
happens.
gonna see which portfolios we have selected here. We can only look at 2 of them today with Kladi, but if you don't see your portfolio here, you can definitely submit for the next streams, okay? Okay, so I think it's time for us to travel to space because that's where we look at your portfolios.
Amazing.
So, are you
What's
ready?
gonna happen here? Yes, I'm ready.
Okay,
Are you
we're
guys
going.
ready?
See you in a minute.
See you in a minute.
Oh,
We just
We're
landed here.
are you ready?
Are you sure you plug your oxygen? Have you make sure that the air is breathable? Can we do it or we're
Is
not gonna
it
die?
safe?
We're safe. We
Okay,
can
we're
actually
okay.
breathe.
Wait, how does it go with my hair? It looks great. Okay.
As long as you can breathe, woman, we're alive.
It's all about survival in space.
Yes. We don't
So-
care about hair.
Okay, we're ready. We're in space, and this is where the critiques can really travel far. So that's why we come here to look at your portfolios. So the first portfolio we have is Renan Torres.
Oh wow.
Congrats, Renan.
Congratulations.
You were selected to be reviewed. So he's a graphic designer in Brazil.
Oh wow.
Very cool.
Let's have a look. Is a really nice portfolio. We have a lot of project reviews.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with something typographical, or do you want to? Oh, the illustration there with the pink and the.
This one?
Yes.
You
Let's
wanna
see
see
the
that?
T-shirt.
T-shirt prints.
T-shirt prints.
Number 1.
Let's have a look. So we have an
Cool.
illustration here,
Who need a hero?
and let's scroll. I like to have a first overlook.
An overview.
There. Yeah.
Oh, good
nice.
typography is invisible.
Good.
Hmm,
Very
that's
interesting.
true. Oh, so there's different T-shirt designs.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's scroll down. Let's have a general overlook to see the entire project, and then we can go back and
Yeah.
see.
So there's a few different designs. So it's all about typography. That's really cool. I like my coffee how I like my letters. Black
That's
and
beautiful.
handmade.
Beautiful. Oh, wow.
Okay. So there's a few designs here that you created for t-shirts, it looks like.
Yes. So maybe, like, I didn't expect that at the beginning. I just thought it was that, especially because the title kind of recalls the first one. Just for the purpose of your portfolio, will be nice to introduce what is actually there. Because, like, you know, maybe I would have just scrolled the first image and I would have lost all your other amazing design.
Yeah.
So
you
maybe
can
give a
also
little
put-
description.
Yeah. Put
or
a
gallery.
description and say this was a project for XYZ, maybe self-initiated, we don't know. This was a project for XYZ to create 7 different t-shirt prints, all inspired by, I don't know, typography or...
Yeah, and also what I will do, I will just put...
Taking this off.
I'm okay, taking... Oh, is it okay to breathe? Are you sure it's safe?
Okay, it's safe.
Is it safe?
Don't worry.
Can we
Wonder
do it?
Woman will save you if you have
Let's
a problem.
see. He's actually safe. We're alive, guys. So yeah, what I will do there, I will probably maybe use a gallery with all the different design first. Maybe just the mock-ups.
Oh, yeah. Just
So-
have a little...
Yeah, because that will
Summary.
prompt me to scroll down and see them all. Because I just, sometimes when I look at a portfolio, I just look at a few items, and you got such a diverse portfolio of t-shirt there, and so many different aspects of
Yeah.
approach that you had on your typography. And the last one there, like, is very different from the very first one, and they're all beautiful. But I would have probably missed it because I didn't know that it was there.
Also, I'm wondering if you did this lettering yourself. This could be its own project page.
Yeah.
You could show your in-process work, like what tools you used, and show the different designs that you worked on before you settled on this one. Like, I would be interested to see that.
The process there.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Yeah, so, you know, maybe as Aria's advice, just pull out different projects, or just make sure that you give a little bit of a description and you make understand what people are going to see on your portfolio.
Oh, so he's showing you where you can buy
These t-shirts.
this stuff, I think.
Oh,
Oh, you have
nice.
your own threadless store, I guess.
It's really
That's
cool.
cool.
Very, very.
All right, so
Nice
another
design.
project. What catches your eye? This catches my eye for sure. Chico Ray is a creative illustration company from Brazil whose work specialized in t-shirts. Oh, so he did the logo and visual identity for the company's 10th birthday party.
Amazing.
This is what I'm talking about.
That's what we wanted to see.
Yeah.
We wanted to see the work in progress. Look at the gift there. Can we scroll up again?
Yeah, I just want to see everything first because there's a lot. Okay, so let's go back. Sorry about the fast scrolling.
We're just going to come back slowly.
Okay, so this is a gift too.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Very cool.
So we actually see the
it.
process. That's what we were talking about in day 2. So we go from our notebook, our pencil, and then we can either use Adobe Capture to transform our design into a vector, or we can take a picture and import it in our Illustrator and traces with the pen tool. This is even better. I think
that's really cool.
And that's probably created in Photoshop. Possibly one of the apps in which you can create a little stop motion like that is Photoshop with the timeline. And I think this is so relevant. So this looks like a mood board. So it's that's a really cool approach on mood board. So I think it's very, very inspiring. Well done. So instead of actually showing mood boards when you're using it in your portfolio, you can actually create an image with a GIF, just giving a hint of all the different layers there. And he used it on his flyer. Is that a flyer or a poster?
It looks like a poster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well done.
So it's really cool because you show all the ways that this identity can be applied. You show Facebook, you show Instagram. So that's super useful for a potential client to see how you would apply your design to all the different
Absolutely. It shows the flexibility. So the logo that you design and the art that you design can be reshaped in different size. Exactly what we were saying before. You know, you actually created an identity for the 10 años, for the 10 years celebration that can be used and promoted everywhere. So definitely thumbs up on this one. And even the way that you displayed it, I'm very, very happy about it. You show the process, you explain, you give a little bit of an insight. I think this is the way to do it, guys. Give as much information as you can, and guide, keep the person interested.
This is totally your kind of thing, like printed stuff.
We love it.
Printed invite. Really good mock-ups.
And plants.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
amazing.
100% on that one.
Yes.
What else looks good that you want to look at?
Let's have a look at the vector there.
This?
Yeah, let's see what it is.
Hand-lettered logo type. Concept, Brigitte Bardot, natural curves. Okay.
Oh,
the
nice.
Studio Bardot, Espacio de Belleza.
Espacio de Belleza, so it probably is like a beauty salon or makeup or hair. So you have to redesign the logo, and we have a lot of beautiful handmade lettering, and then perfect. That's what we like to see. So again, from sketch to pen tool. That's what we've done on day number 2. If you guys want to see how to create these shapes, make sure that you tune in on our day 2. So yesterday live, in which we show you how to use the pen tool to create shape in Illustrator. And as you can see, you can create amazing stuff.
This is beautiful. This is, for those of you that didn't see whose portfolio we're looking at, this is Renan Torres. And we're just looking at some of his stuff, randomly selecting things that we think look interesting.
Beautiful. I don't know if this is like a mock-up or actual picture, but this is what we're going to do in our last 15 minutes.
It looks really real, so good job if it's a mock-up.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. Again, this is the way to keep your customers and your future potential customer excited. Show usage of your logo. Mock-ups or photography of your logo into reality, so taken out for the computer and be part of everyday life. That's what people like to see.
You did an amazing job redesigning this. You kept the same spirit and the same kind of look, but you really refined it to be much more polished. So well done.
And also, like, honestly, super talented with your lettering. Very beautiful.
This is a series of coasters for Chico Ray.
See, I think that's probably what was missing on the first project. Having an overlook that keeps you interested and wants you scroll down to see them all.
I think maybe that project, he didn't spend as much time as these ones, which is totally fine.
Yeah,
and we happened to look at that one first.
Yeah.
But if you do
totally
the same formula that you've done for these last few projects on everything, That's going to elevate you a lot further.
Can we have a look at another one? Yeah, I wanted to look more type.
Seva da Mata is an artisanal brewery. Okay. These images have been chosen to refer to the worker of the field.
Okay.
So it's very organic looking.
Yeah, so here probably I would love to see a little bit more of a mood board, just to see, because there's so many different types there. Let's see what is support element. Okay, so we get a little bit from where the shapes come from. That's so fun.
That's cool.
Super amazing integration of Photoshop and Illustrator here. It's very amazing, very well done.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, that's so cool. Very well done. Again, just it would be nice to see where all these ideas come from. So for such a big project that incorporates illustration and logo design, and you get again Illustrator, Photoshop going on, I would love to see the mood boards for this one, to see where your inspiration, especially because you mentioned the inspiration in a conceptual form. It will be nice to see in a visual form where your inspiration coming from.
Yeah. Okay, we unfortunately have to go to the next portfolio.
But very well done. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Very, very strong
I really
pieces.
love what you've done. Thank you for sharing it.
Thank you so much for sharing.
So
It's very beautiful.
Antonio is next.
Let's see.
I had already scrolled down. Antonio Morsillo, graphic designer in Liverpool.
So in another Italian that you can.
Oh, the guy that was from Foggia and went to Liverpool.
Oh yeah, is it today in the chat as well?
Are you
Ciao,
still here?
Antonio.
Okay, so
that's
this
amazing.
is...
I remember he was saying hello in the chat yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Awesome.
So let's have a look.
He's focused on branding and art direction.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look at your
Veggie
project.
Baby is an American brand that produces chalk and colors for kids. Okay, so he did
that's
the
fun.
logo for them.
So you definitely can see the playfulness, the very simplified palettes that works very well in a kid environment. Beautiful. That's what I'm talking about. That's beautiful. So we got exactly the breakdown. That's the kind of file that we deliver to a client. I love to see a little bit of behind the scene. It's beautiful to see these polished mock-ups. I guess they're mock-ups or photography of the final product, but it's nice to see how you actually, the process behind it. I love what you've done with your background. So it's a seamless background. You're scrolling and there are different elements, but the background keeps going. Isn't that beautiful?
I love it.
That's a very, very interesting
So it looks
take.
like you did, oh, that's cute.
With a handmade, thank you.
It looks like you did the logo, and also all of this lettering is inspired by that same logo.
Yeah.
Did you create a font out of it, or did you do all of this custom?
Tilting.
It's
Yeah,
bouncy.
I mean, it can just be like a type treatment. In this case, it doesn't look exactly the same, the main logo, but it recalls just by using the same movement.
Yeah.
So I think the main logo is a little bit more baby, chubby, and and cute. While that's totally cool, because if you have to write a lot of title and if you don't have enough time to create a full typeface, just making sure that you repeat the same treatment. So in this case, having all this tittle and jiggling, types,
Yeah.
it still recalls the sort of treatment that you did for the logo. So if you want to, that's fine.
We really
Yeah,
need to
that's
move,
fine.
so I want to see as much as possible.
Oh, the logo folio is there as well.
Full Moon is a brand born in Foggia. The purpose is to create stuff using new materials. Oh, this is kind of a graffiti look.
Yeah, I was gonna say, got a little bit of a street background here as well. Here it is. We had Antonio on the chat. Started from a font and then made custom letter for packaging.
Cool.
Very cool. Very nice treatment. Bravo, Antonio.
Bravo.
Bravo, bravo.
This
Look at
is
that.
cool.
So tell us more about this.
Ooh.
Do you have a background? Is that you, Antonio? We want to know. It
Looking good.
So that's it
I like
feels
the treatment on these photos because it
Beautiful
puts you in a
gradients.
mood.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna ask. Like, do you have a street background as well? Have you ever done graffiti? Because you get a lot of that, like, kind of grunge background. That's the sort of treatment you feel when you paint on a wall. You have a little bit of that, a noise into the final piece. So very well
Yeah.
done. You get a very nice mood. I want to see the logo folio, please.
Logo folio.
Volume 2, so that means that is the second
Yeah.
one already. So we got Portici di Torino.
Vortici di Torino, City Committee Proposal. Is this
Okay,
a
so we
political
got a
thing?
mix. Is that a sticker of Facebook fan page? Oh, amazing! So we got a mix of illustration and typography, and kind of an emblem looking. Also, okay, what is that?
There's a lot.
Yeah,
Events planner.
so they're really nice, and I love the way you kind of isolated them. I will probably give a little bit of a background on them, a little bit more, because you wrote alternative logo.
Oh, so
they're
this
all
is the same as the mud above. So
Yeah.
maybe put that together.
Put them together, yeah. Especially because you have such a big variation. So what I'll do, probably have a gallery just to kind of show the overall look, and then you can go in depth in each single one. And yeah, maybe a little bit more of a description of, so you either, I'm a big believer that you either do something, you either go big or you go home. So you either don't put anything, so no details at all, and you just show the logo, or if you're looking to put some information, just make sure that you write at least a line to explain what are this logo about.
Yeah.
Or just show the logo, because that showcases your styles. I love that you put the kind of calligraphic thank you after your project. I think that's such a personal touch.
Antonio says he started as a graffiti artist,
Yeah.
a graffiti writer when he was young.
I saw that in your sketches. You have all
So
the
these are all lettering.
beautiful work, Antonio.
Really great. Really great. But just as she said, like a little more description would be really helpful. Like,
Or none, because your work speaks for itself. So if you just want to showcase your talent, you don't need to talk about the brand in this case. You're just showcasing what you can achieve when people commission you. So, probably you will have someone be like, oh, I really like this image here. But if
Yeah.
you're looking to give information, then give us more, please.
yeah.
Per favore, Antonio.
Bravo, Antonio.
Bravissimo, actually.
Bravo, Renan. So thank you so much for showing your work, Renan and Antonio. We really enjoyed looking at it. And for those of you that want to get more feedback, you can submit for the next guest. So Julia and Whitney will be here and they can look at your stuff. So keep submitting.
Yeah, and also like for the future, as I say, like I'm part of the chat. So you guys, if you keep following the live, we're gonna have a chance to chat more. And if you wanna go on our studio page, which is Printmysoul, ideally Instagram is the way that you can get in touch with me, because emails are usually more for clients. So I tend to delay my reply on emails. But if you wanna give us a follow on Instagram and message me directly there, I'll be more than happy to give you advice and to look at your portfolio. Again, once a month we do that, so it's very inspiring, as we saw. Like, it's very, very
contact
inspiring.
Kladi on Instagram, DM her if you want her to give you some feedback.
So Printmysoul on every social media.
So let's jump back to your computer to just give a recap. So we have
No time at all for mockups.
we can show the mock-ups that you've done.
Okay, I can show
We
the
only
mockups,
have
and
5
also I
minutes.
can show that you can download mockups from your Adobe stock library.
Okay, so let's go.
do it.
5 minutes.
So let's open our Photoshop. Oh, well, that's some file that we don't need. I don't know what's going on here. It was already open. There we go. Let's open our Photoshop.
Okay.
So what I did, I actually went on stock.adobe.com and I was looking for a stationery package. So in order to find this beautiful stationery mockup, all I did was to search stationery mockup in the Adobe stock templates library. Make sure you select templates if you're looking for mockups. And also you can have different filters here, but I'm happy with the results because I'm already seeing stuff that I like. As you guys saw, the one that I selected and licensed is this image over here. You can get more details by simply clicking, and you have this panel that expands, and then you can save it to your computer. When you do that, make sure that you pick the right folder and the library that you want to use it in. In this case is LTC, that's the library that I'm using on my computer. And as you can see on my Photoshop library, if I go on my LTC library, my template is there. So I'm just going to double click to open this file. So that's how fast it is. So I'm literally downloaded from my Adobe stock account and licensed a template that I thought it was suitable for the kind of mockup that I want to create. And I'm also opening the final file as well, just so you guys can have a look on the before and after. There is another way in which you can do that. You can actually click on new document, and if you go on, for example, print and preset, you can find more templates here. So that's another beautiful way of selecting your work. Now let's have a look and open the mockup. Oh, that's what was not found. Let's go on Finder, mockups. Here it is. So in order to use the mockup on Photoshop, all you have to do is to go on the layer panel. We just need to give it a second for the file to open.
Hi, Boyana. Everyone's saying hi to you. I want to say hi too. So we have a few more minutes, but you guys, there's a lot more coming today.
So this is the final.
Tuned.
So this is actually how you show your logo to your client.
So
and that's
great.
So exciting. And again, all you have to do is to import your file. I'm just going to do the envelope because you only need the logo here. So if we go back on our mockup and then we go on our layers panel up here, and we just kind of open up and open the folder called Objects and Designs. What we're going to do is the envelope. So we're going to open the envelope, double click on the smart object, and all you have to do here is to go back on your Illustrator file, select the logo, press Command C to copy, and then remember it's vector so we can scale it. So when we go back in Photoshop and press Command V and paste as a smart object, and press OK, then we can scale it and perhaps, sorry, I'm still not used to the Shift key. So this is a new feature of Adobe Photoshop 2019. We don't need to have to hold the Shift key to have a constraint on our proportion. Is already.
It's hard to stop your finger from hitting the Shift key.
Yes, that's kind of like automated.
So it's the opposite. If you hit the Shift, it doesn't drag it proportionally.
Yes, so if you actually hit the Shift, you lose the proportion. But if you release it, you just keep in proportion, which is actually very fast to work with.
Yeah, much easier.
So we're just gonna place it by pressing Enter, and then we're gonna hit Command Save to save this smart object file, and we're gonna go back on our mockup, and look what happened there.
Nice.
It's there. Now we have a little bit of a text. I believe there is a some effects here. In this case, it's the hot stamping. We can get rid of that. So all we have is our logo here. And you can use all these folders to import your design, and that's the sort of file you can achieve.
It looks so good. And how can a client refuse once they've seen how their logo will look on every platform?
That's the beauty of doing it. And actually, I'm going to show you her website real quick since we have one more moment. So we're going to go on luckytargetcomics.com. And that's something super cool about creating patterns. So this is, patterns is everywhere. We just relaunched the brand. So of course the brand is everywhere. And I'm really proud of this new redesign. So this website is a responsive website. And that's another reason for creating different size of the file. But look what I've done here. When you go on your mobile menu, and you guys can totally do that. If you look for luckytargetcomics.com, and then you go on your mobile burger, which are these little dots to recall the dot on the actual brand that we find everywhere. Look what happens here. I've used the background.
Ooh, that's really cool.
Isn't that fun?
So this is a great case study of what Kladi has done. She's taking you through the whole process. So she does the same with all her clients. She does the mood board. She works on her logo concept. She does the deliverables and sends them awesome mock-ups like this. So definitely watch the replays.
Absolutely. And also, guys, what I'm showing you here is they're yet not on my website, so you have like a super preview. Worldwide preview,
and they're
of
all
my work.
Real clients.
This is again, if you go on luckytargetcomics.com, you'll be able to see this brand identity taking shape.
Okay,
we have to say goodbye.
Yes,
it's been beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us. I had a blast. It was absolutely amazing to join you guys. Thank you so much, Ari.
Yes,
been
it
super
was great.
sweet.
Brava, Kladi.
Grazie.
And stay tuned.
Kisses to everyone.
Stay tuned for Julia, who's next,
she's coming.
and Whitney. And let's have an awesome end to our Women's Week.
Bye.